What's up, guys? So today we're going to learn how to do that edit that you just saw with Jalen Green. First, what you want to do is obviously have your video selected, and you want to have two scenes. So as you can see here, kind of have Jalen Green going through the lane, laying it up, and then our second scene is going to be him catching the ball and dunking it. Now what you want to do is you want to separate these two. So using the left and right arrow keys, Final Cut Pro will let you go frame by frame. So since we want to go back, we're going to use the left arrow key to find where those two clips kind of separate. So it looks like they separate around 523. So Command B is what I'm going to press to do what they call blading. And that just, all that does is just cut your two scenes, and now you have two different clips. Now what you want to do is you want to go to the first frame of your second clip. So it looks like we're already on it because we know it's 523. And what you want to do is go up here to edit, and you're going to click add freeze frame. And what that does is pretty self-explanatory. It's just going to take a picture of that freeze frame, and your video will start playing again after it gets done going through the freeze frame. So all you want to do is select your freeze frame, drag it on top of here, and then by using Command plus, I'm going to make our timeline a little bit bigger. You don't need to do this. However, if you do, it'll just make the editing process a lot more simple. And again, how we talked about going frame by frame to the left, we're going to go back about 13 frames. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now we have our time head right here. So we're just going to drag that freeze frame all the way to the time head and drop it right there. And then now we'll go right here to where the second clip starts, and we're going to press Command B again, which will blade it. And the second part right here that we have selected, we're just going to delete it. We don't need that anymore. Now what you want to do is go, and while you have this selected, the freeze frame, go to your effects tab, select draw mask, and drag that onto your freeze frame. Now whenever you have your draw mask selected, what I would recommend is going about 200, or depending on how small your subject is, maybe 400 or 600%, just to zoom it in, because whenever you're making a draw mask, you're really just making pinpoints like this, and the more precise you are, the more smooth your effect is going to look. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of go around making pinpoints around his body. Alright, now we have him masked out, as you can see. And what you can even do is maybe go in again, and you can feather this outwards or inwards. And all that does is kind of make your mask a little bit less harsh. Usually what I do is about -2. So not too much, but it just makes it a little bit smoother. Then we'll zoom back out. Now what you want to do is select this freeze frame that we now have masked out. And while holding Option, just drag up. And then we're going to do that one more time. By holding Option, drag up, and that just makes a copy. So now we have 3 of the same thing, but while you have your second freeze frame selected, we're going to go into the color up here, go to exposure, and drag this all the way up. Now we're going to go to saturation and do the same thing. We're going to drag this far left side all the way up. Now you're going to go to your color, and your color is going to be whatever the glow color is going to be. So it'll depend on what you're trying to mask out and do this to, but it looks like his jersey is a navy yellow. So I think I'm going to go for more of a yellow. So I'm going to do the master over there. I'm going to drag all of them actually to the yellow, because I don't really want another color on there. Sometimes I do 2. In this case, I'm going to do 1. And then, as you can see, it kind of gives us a little bit of a yellow blur, I guess, around his body, but it's not that dramatic. So what we're going to do is go back to our effects tab, select blur, pick focus and drag that onto our middle clip like this. And as you can see, that made a big difference as far as how dramatic the blur is, and it's a lot more noticeable. Then after you do that, after you add the blur to the middle clip, you can go back in here and kind of move these around, which will change how dramatic it is or how little or small the blur is. Personally, I like the way it looks right now, so I'm going to leave it like that. And now what we're going to do is make this, all of these, a new compound clip. So select all of them, and if you're using a MacBook Pro, you're going to double tap your touchpad with 2 fingers and press new compound clip, and we'll name this Jalen Green Clip 1 because we're going to have to do this one more time. If you're using an iMac, all you have to do is press right click. In my opinion, it's easier on the iMac, but on the MacBook, it will be a little bit different. You'll just use 2 fingers to touch your touchpad at the same time. Now what you want to do is, again, while holding this and pressing Option, drag up, which will give you 2 copies. We're going to do that one more time. Drag up. So now we have 3 copies again, and using Command plus like we did earlier, I'm going to make the timeline even bigger now. So now we have something that looks like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this top clip and we're going to make it a little bit short. So we'll make it about right here. And then we'll take this middle clip and we'll put it in between. We'll put it a little bit longer than the top clip, but a little bit shorter than the bottom one. So it'll be kind of like a stairs. So you can leave it about right there. Yeah, that looks good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go and put the time head in the middle of all 3. Again, this is kind of optional, but it will make your editing a lot more simple and easy to do because you'll be able to see what you're doing with all of these movements. So we're going to go back into the effects tab up here, and then you're going to pick the second clip, and then you're just going to scale it up to about right there. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So our second clip is at about right there, and then we're going to go to our third clip, and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to scale it up. And this number right here should be higher than the middle one, because that'll tell you that they're not overlapping each other. So it looks like we need to make it go just a little bit higher. And that looks good right there. So now, using Command minus, I'm going to make the timeline just a little bit smaller. Go to fit. And then what we're going to do is drag this over here, and we should have something that kind of looks like this.